Hello, World Tank Blitzers. It's Littlefinger. Hey, we just started the holiday event a few days in now. As you can see, we've got just under 11 days left. So for every win, tier 5 and above, I believe it is, you're going to get 2 tickets. And the tickets help you progress up the line here to get to either the Chrysler K or the Snow Globe. As you can see, still have 90 wins to go. It's a long grind. Part of that was aided by the fact that, yes, I've spent quite a bit of money on the gold package here, which gives you a 10% chance of dropping a snow globe. I've only received 3, and for every 5 that you open, you get a free one. So I've probably done that 4 times, so 24 containers, 3 snow globes, and as was shown here, the Caliban is the tank that I received, along with another tier 10, I think 2 tier 10 tanks. So I got this 7,500 gold back in return for those tanks that I already had. Finding the Caliban to be one of my least favorite tanks that I own, with huge dispersion, super slow shell velocity. It's a very difficult tank to play nonetheless. But the tank, if we look in the snow globe, is the XM66F. This is the tank. If you get 10 snow globes, you automatically get this tank out of it. Seems to be a pretty fun tank from what I've seen from other people that have been lucky enough to pull that tank out of it. And as we scroll down, you can see there are some new tanks based upon the fact that, you know, these are ones that I don't have yet. Caro, don't know if that's been for sale yet. Object 452K, the 7RH, Charlemagne. So there's some new tanks in here that I'm certainly interested in getting, which is why I was spent so much on gold to try to get the snow globes. I also spent probably close to 1 million free XP. Did not get any snow globes out of this box here. I believe the percentage for that is much lower. Let's see, snow globe is only a 2% out of that container. All right, so I wanted to switch on over here. Let's turn this off. Oop, did that just turn off? There we go. Wanted to run through the auction. The auction is done online. WorldofTankBlitz.com. You can find it. I'll put a link in the project in the description for the video. But it's being done a little bit differently. 2 new tanks getting added each day. I believe it's a 3-week event this time instead of 2 weeks. So we should have quite a few tanks. So let's go through these and talk about their strengths, weaknesses, and, you know, a good price for them. TL7 120 here. Well, this is a tier 9 heavy tank. It's kind of small in stature, does 400 damage per shot, but the damage per minute number is pretty low at like 2,300. So feel like you've got to run the gun rammer on this to get that damage per minute number up to about 2,500. Tier 9, you know, there's still 2,500 left. If I wouldn't, anything under 10,250 is good. I wouldn't spend anything 11,000 on it at this point in time. The Object 252U, well, we all know about this tank. It's one of the most popular tier 8 tanks with some really good armor on it. Spaced armor, angled armor, bounces a lot of shots. Tier 8, like I said, heavy tank. You know, 6,000 gold. If you don't have a tank like this, I wouldn't mind saying 6,000 is okay. But it is a very popular tank, so probably you've got something similar to it. In which case, I wouldn't spend the 6,000. Wait for the 5,000 and leave it at that. M60 as we move on here, tier 10 American medium tank. It does not have the credit coefficient of a collector, so that's one of the downsides to it. 13,000, still pretty high. You know, you can play the patent and have a very similar play style. It is a fun tank. It does everything like the American tanks do very well. Nothing exceptionally well. Uh, if you can get this down, maybe wait for the next 2 drops and get it for whatever it's going to drop to after the 12.75, I would recommend there. T26E5. Let me scroll this over a little bit. There we go. It's another tier 8 heavy tank. Plays more like a medium heavy. It's got some good frontal armor, 6750. It's an okay price. I'd wait for it to continue to drop as well. Type 62 is a tier 7 light tank. Really, really fun if you like that play style. Good movement, mobility, great gun handling. 3,200 is not a bad price for it if you don't have anything like it. I enjoy this tank. It's one of those tanks that I do pull out from time to time just to get around and play a different play style. So keep that in mind as well. The Turtle, tier 8, obviously it's a British TD. It plays to me better than any of the AT tanks, so I like it in that regard. 6,200 is not a horrible price, but I do have to say that this is pretty team dependent due to its lack of mobility and speed. 1,300 left. You might be able to take a gamble and get it early tomorrow for 5,000. That would be not a bad price for it. And the SU-130, I've seen a lot of these out there, so I think they might be selling pretty good on the NA server. 2,200 left at 7,500. Good mobility, limited turret traverse, pretty good gun accuracy, doing a nice amount of damage. I would certainly wait for the 6,500, and I feel like you're going to get a good price there. Kanonen, I'd recommend this at the 6,500. This is another tier 8 tank destroyer. I've talked about this several times before. Not a whole lot to talk about as far as the armor. If you can get the front plate angled, you can get a few bounces on it. But what I do like about it, that German gun accuracy, of course, but the mobility on this thing. You can get to those spots on the map that you want to get to quickly. You can decide in battle, there's not enough targets here, and you can relocate. You can also use that speed at the end of battles there to get that DPM working and get that some numbers up high. E75TS, do not recommend. That's based upon my playstyle. I'm not a huge fan of the super slow, heavily armored, heavy tanks. I feel that 6,500 for this is just too much. I probably wouldn't even spend 5,500 on it, to be honest with you. Feel like the drive wheels are a huge weak spot, so the armor's not as great as it's made out to be. If you get any angle through there, you can pretty much pen. And it's just slow, and it's hard to get around. It's hard to get into good spots and be effective on the battlefield. And then the one that I'm going to go ahead and drop 8,500 for, the Bisonet C45. I might wait a day to let this drop down to 7750. But this is a tank that I don't have, so I can't really talk about it. Haven't played it. But maybe I'll do a review on it after I go ahead and purchase it and give you an idea of whether or not it is a tank worth getting in the auction. So like I said, guys, every 24 hours, they're going to drop 2 more tanks, and the prices drop on the remaining tanks that have vehicles left. So don't forget to visit the website, and of course, I'll try to get a store review in on Friday. Haven't been many tanks out there, which is really why I haven't done many store reviews lately. So with that, guys, have fun out there. Stay safe, get educated, not fingered. Littlefinger out.